The Shin Bet, Israel's internal security services, says that they've thwarted a potential bombing by a resident of the Gaza Strip who had a work permit in Israel. About 1 month ago, 31-year-old Fathi Ziad Zakot planned to place a bomb on a bus in the south of the country, but it was seized after a Shin Bet investigation found that he was recruited by Islamic Jihad to carry out the attack. A serious indictment filed against the Rafah resident and revealing that he underwent explosives training by an expert in the Gaza Strip, and upon his entry to Israel began collecting materials to assemble the explosive device, all of which were seized at the time of his arrest. Let's bring in Martin Himmel, an international security analyst, joining me live in studio. Let's begin with the breaking news this morning of the Shin Bet thwarting this attack 1 month ago. The details pretty incredible. This individual had a work permit to Israel, so was crossing through the Erez checkpoint every day and then was able to work in Israel, but the Shin Bet investigation finding that this individual was in fact planning an attack. So what type of intelligence was used in this type of situation to thwart the attack?
Well, first of all, what's interesting is the timing of the release. The Shin Bet arrests a lot of people. It has a selective interest when to release the timing. I think that there's two reasons for it. One, that this is not just a Jerusalem incident. There's a territory-wide Gaza, West Bank, etc., Jerusalem effort to try to get bombers into Israel. Secondly, I think they want to show that they're effective in stopping them. And thirdly, I think the government is trying to show that they're taking action. The significance of all this is that there is a continuous and sustained effort to bring the conflict from Gaza, from the West Bank into Israel proper. This is sort of like the effort of a third intifada. We haven't seen this in many, many years. Yesterday was a limited success for that. And I think that Israel's trying to show that it's trying to stop it as much as possible. The implications, if people from Gaza are going to bring bombs into Tel Aviv or other places, is that it could threaten the whole reestablishment of what has happened, of workers coming from Gaza, earning a living in Israel and going back home. It took many years to reestablish that, but it could stop very quickly if bombs make their way into the Israeli streets from people in Gaza.
Let's talk about how Israel was able to thwart this type of attack. We do know the Israeli security establishment is very well known for their efforts in surveillance and intelligence, and this individual's attack was able to be thwarted. But yesterday in Jerusalem, an intifada-style bombing on a bus and in a neighborhood that the country hasn't really seen in almost 2 decades. How did something like this slip through the cracks?
Well, it's easier to identify and use certain means in trying to stop somebody from Gaza. Gaza is sealed off. It's contained. It's a targeted area. It's an area that Israel's got great intelligence penetration. It seems, though it's not confirmed, that these two bombers, the two bombing attempts yesterday, was a coordinated effort by people living in Jerusalem. Jerusalem is, while it's still divided ethnically, is an integrated city with free travel between both sides of the city, and West Bank and Palestinian Jerusalemites can go to the West Bank easy enough and can come back. So they have mobility that's unhindered, and therefore it's much harder to stop if there's an attempt to try to, by Palestinian Jerusalemites, to try to attack in West Jerusalem where most Jews live.